death tastes like.
Ooh.
Oh, Sam Worthington,
You bastard.
horrible man. So that's what death tastes like. That's how we're going to open our show today, as he kisses the, I guess, milfy Helena Bonham Carter. Get your hand off my face, Ellie. And says, so that's what death tastes like. We can only assume it's because she probably has cancer. Or she's really into headscarves and bald heads.
If she doesn't have cancer, then she needs was it Gok Kwan that did all the...
Got Kwan. Kwan is the thing in Jerry Maguire, right?
Gok Kwan. He was like the fashionista. He'd like teach women how to dress and make themselves look good.
And yet he looked terrible.
I
He had a weird face, I
I
think.
always thought he was quite cool. Quite like Gok.
He had a weird face.
What was he?
But then he tried to
Vietnamese or
turn his hand to other things, like, oh, Gok Wan is like farming.
something? What?
They put him, basically, if you're not an English listener,
Don't
there's
put a
this...
puff on a farm. You'll bugger all the animals.
Hi everyone, it's Ethan McKinley. This is the 2 Minute Terminator. We break down the Terminator films 2 minutes at a time. We are on episode 2 of season 4 of the 2 Minute Terminator, where we break down the Terminator films and dismantle them.
So it's 2...
No, it's TS.
No, but we go 2T...
2TTS.
2TTS. Yeah.
'Cause
I'm
we
Ellie
are
Fitzgerald, by the way.
The co-host.
Just in case you were wondering.
Co-host. We break down the Terminator films. We
I'm the
dismantle them, if
understudy.
you will, 2 minutes at a time. The
I'm
minutes we're watching now is minutes 2 to minutes 4. And it's basically Helena Bonham Carter saying, Marcus, off camera. And what she just said, you are the future of the human race.
Did you put 2 sugars in this?
Yes. Was it not sugary enough for you?
I'm not convinced.
Whoa.
It's alright. Keep going.
What? Don't leave me on my own on the radio. Yeah. Basically, it looks like Sam Worthington is on death row, about to be executed. But Helena Bonham Carter's intonation means he's probably giving himself up for some kind of medical research. I assume it's something to do with cancer, because he's going to die anyway, and she's got cancer.
I don't think so.
And this rough diamond says, "Oh, so that's what death tastes like," which is a bit. And then we see he signs the release form.
That is so a thing you would say.
Oh yeah, for real.
You might as well just say, well, so that's what a bald bitch tastes like. That's what you'd say. No, I don't know. From watching this clip over and over and over for the last, 20 minutes, what I've gleaned from this is that...
We should hit the music.
Oh. Disgruntled pig.
That was good.
Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger, to me.
You didn't do the 4th. Thank God. It sucked. It sucked.
Yeah, so what I've kind of got from this is she's come in. It's obviously not the first time she's asked him to sign over his body to science, because he seems pretty disinterested. He's like, oh, God, you should have stayed in San Francisco, blah, 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 blah. She's quite clearly got the cancer. Bless her.
Helen Bonham cancer.
Shouldn't have gone through chemo. She probably should have just got some THC oil. Considering she's living in San Francisco, that's where all the you can legally go in and get weed. A friend of mine
From a dispensary.
Paul Baxter, his ex-girlfriend, she works for Twitter. She lives in San Francisco, and she paid for him to go over there for 3 weeks.
Cancer treatment.
A little while ago. She smokes weed, but she gets it on the medicinal. It's not, but she
Yeah,
gets
you
it.
just say, I've got a bad toe,
Yeah.
and they give you it for free.
Paul was just walking around the streets of San Fran, just fucking blazing up, with the most amazing weed. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. But yeah, anyway, why they're not using THC in these situations, I don't know. But he says, oh yeah, because you've obviously got a death sentence as well. You've got a time scale. And she goes, yeah, but I'm not actually concerned for myself. I'm concerned for the survival of the human race. Now that to me makes me think this isn't actually about cancer. Maybe
What?
she knows something. And he's on death row, right?
He's on death row, and he just signed a
Does he kill his
contract,
brother
which
and
is
2
actually the
cops?
artwork for this show. So if you look at the artwork for the show, or the kind of the screen grab, if you will, accompanying this show, it's the contract he signs for Cyberdyne.
It is indeed, saying that he gives over his body once he's dead.
I'd also like to say at 3 minutes 51, the Terminator makeup and animatronic effects are by John Rosengrant, who was one of Stan Winston's assistants on all the Terminator films dating back to the first Terminator.
Would that book be the Bible?
That book most likely is the Bible, or
But it's far too thin to be the Bible. The Bible's literally that big.
maybe it's like a redacted version.
Repent!
They just rip all the pages out and then black out loads of it like a CIA UFO document.
Is this a coat hanger?
It is.
How many jackets do they think this dude's got?
I don't know. I mean, I assume they did the research and this is
your
real.
death cell. You got a nice little table there, and a little stool.
I'm thinking it's some kind of.
Ethan, it's a bit like your room.
It looks like a Mexican jail.
Just put some movie posters on the wall, and boom.
Well,
Ethan's crib.
couldn't you injure yourself on those co-hooks?
You probably could. That time I got arrested, which we have discussed on previous series.
That's the episode Ellie has an arrest record? Question mark. From Terminator 2, I think, or 1.
When I went in, this is back in the day when I had like loads of piercings in my face, and I just had my my lip pierced. Literally like a week before.
Were you dragging your metal cup across the bars going, you'll never take me alive, Copper, me?
So when I went in, they took all my clothes, they put me in a paper suit, I had to stand on a piece of paper, comb all my hair, they took swabs inside my mouth and
Did the
everything.
suit have foldable tabs to go over your shoulders?
No. But when they were getting me to take all my jewellery off, they were like, right, take your piercings out. And I was like, why am I taking my piercings? So I took them out, but not my lip. I was like, I've literally just had this done. Take it out. I went, but for what reason? In case you harm yourself. Oh, and also, I hate to say this, when my friends would come back from travelling, all my friends have been travelling, they'd bring back bracelets and stuff, and they'd give them to you.
The way you're gripping your wrist, I thought you were
ones-
going to say, I've got a sore wrist from all the hand jobs I gave from hitchhiking.
Oh my god. I've never been travelling. I really should go. But they were all tied on, the ones you couldn't take off. And they were like, take them off. And I was like, I can't. They've been on so long, I can't undo the knots. And they were like, right, get scissors. And I was like, why are you cutting on my bracelet? What's the problem? They're like, oh, you might harm yourself. I was like, what am I going to do? Hang myself off a piece of twine? I was just like, there's cameras in there. I know there's going to be. And yeah, kicking up a massive fuss about me having a lip piercing. It's like the tiniest little piece of metal. And I was like, look, I paid money for this. I'm not taking it out because it will close up. They actually let me keep the lip piercing in. But I was like... And then when I went to leave after
What about the wrists?
13 hours of interrogation, no joke,
What are you being interrogated
and
for?
2 frozen meals, which were hot on the outside and still frozen on the inside.
So
when
technically
I left,
you could have harmed yourself with the frozen meal. You could have just
I
got
could have just bashed myself over the head with it.
well,
Yeah.
knocked all the gravy off the kind of like giant obsidian spear that you could just kill yourself with.
I need to
basically.
stir this with something.
I stirred it quite.
No,
a
but
lot.
I just put a brown sugar in there.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So and then when I went to leave, they gave me like 3 leaflets on self-harm, and they were like, have you ever considered like harming yourself? If you did ever harm yourself, this is the number for you to call. And I was like, why do you think I'm gonna like harm myself? Like, the reason I'm being released like is because you haven't got anything on me like straight away. To be fair, they put me on fucking
What have they got you for? Because
bail for 3 months.
no one who actually listens to this show would have started with that show and probably won't look for it anyway. And I can't remember. So what happened?
I went to a party because I live out in the sticks. It was like a party in the woods kind of thing, and we'd had a bonfire and party prescriptions were in full flow. A group of guys that were there disappeared for ages, and then when they came back, they were full of these God, what are those things you get in pubs that you fill all with all drinks and stuff, like these big
Glasses,
these big like,
barrels,
plastic bucket things. Anyway, they literally had all these different buckets.
We don't drink out of buckets in English
full of
bars, by the way.
booze and crisps and curly whirlies, which was a bit weird. And they were like, yeah, everyone have these drinks, and everyone was gazeboed. So we
gazebo.
obviously,
Do you like that word?
obviously we didn't ask where this stuff was from. I don't actually drink, so I wasn't drinking it. And then later on, it's got to like 7 or 8 in the morning. The party's winding down. Everyone's feeling a bit worse for wear. So we're like, I live just up the road, and my parents were away. So I was like, oh, us lot, we can go back to mine and carry on. Now the boys grabbed a couple of the bottles out of this basket because they were just going. Went back to my house. I randomly started playing drinking games. We ended up getting really pissed. My mate Charlie's passed out face down on the floor. The next minute, my parents drive down the fucking drive in the camper van, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. There was drugs, there was booze, there was someone like passed out on their face. And the thing is, you do not... My dad has no idea about party lifestyle because he's never touched anything. So I was like, shit. So I run to the front door going, right, Dad, let me explain. We went to a party in Brockham last night. We came back here. Nothing's broken. Everything's cool. But we are here and Charlie is out. And he was like, oh, okay. He was like, well, we'll go in the dining room. Don't worry. You have the... And I was just like, what? I thought my dad was literally going to rip my head off. And he was like, no, it's cool.
I think faced with an alien situation like that, you probably just thought, oh,
no,
God.
No.
Let them deal
My
with
dad, no, my dad's quite, yeah, he's not afraid to embarrass me. Yeah, so anyway, long story short, we left. I was like, it's fine, we'll go over the green, we'll finish off our drinks. As we've walked out, the police have driven past. They saw us holding these bottles, and one of them was like the Opex bottle, the ones that you have upside down. Basically what happened was, when we were at this party, all these guys had broken into like a little local, it was a rugby club. They'd broken in and stolen loads of stuff. Someone had obviously called the police. And then the police had been driving around the local area, saw us looking pretty worse for wear with fucking Opex bottles. So we got arrested. Got taken to Woking because all the local police stations, one was dealing with the fact that Guildfest was on, and the other was under refurbishment. Fuck knows why. So I had to be taken all the way to Woking. You go past Woking when you get the train to London. No, when you get the train from Dorking to London, it is far. So they took us all the way out there, and I was locked in a cell for 13 hours, and then eventually released at God knows what time. It was actually my mate's mum that came to pick us up, and when we got in the car, she was like, Ellie, I do have to let you know, the police have been round to your parents' house and have searched your house. I was like, what? So then I called my parents, and I was like, Dad, I'm so sorry, I didn't steal anything. Like, blah, blah, blah. Also, he'd only seen me when I left that day. So basically what happened was the police had gone round to my house and said, right, we're going to... Well, first of all, they went round to my house to be like, oh, we've taken your daughter in. And then my dad, because we'd actually left the bucket at my mum and dad's house, the one piece of evidence that linked us to the crime.
The bucket.
Which we didn't actually do. Now, my dad, because he's such a fucking smart motherfucker, after these police had gone, my dad was like, just in case we should hide this thing. Don't completely get rid of it, but hide it. So what my dad did is he put it right round the back of our garage, like in all the brambles and blah, 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 blah. Literally 20 minutes later, the police turned up with a search warrant, and they literally searched every single part of the house.
And what would have happened if they'd found the bucket?
Then I would have been taken to court. I don't know what would have happened, but what I was charged with was breaking and entering.
Why didn't they check in the bushes?
Robbery, blah, blah, blah.
Why didn't they check in the bushes, Ellie?
Because it was a really obscure place. It was tucked right round the side. And it's not a huge crime. And they quite obviously didn't know. They obviously knew it wasn't me, but the police have certain quotas to fill. Because when we were actually being driven to the station, the boys were separated. I was put in a different cab. And they were like, oh, yeah, that car chase yesterday. Oh, I was really hoping they'd go faster so we could like get more excitement out of it. And I was like, you fucking... See you next Tuesdays. You want people to fuck up because you're bored? That's why I hate the police out in Surrey. They've got nothing to do. The amount of times we got stopped when we were younger and be like, what are you doing? And be like, driving in a car? One time we'd gone to go get food and it was late and I was in my pyjamas. What are you in your pyjamas? And I was like, does it matter? I was like, am I exposing myself? Am I indecent? And he was like, you know, looking in, making sure the tax disc was all like, I should have. I'm pregnant.
So how does that relate to the scene with Sam Worthington on death row?
You asked me about why I'd been... you're such an arsehole. Right, you carry on. I've been talking for like the last 13 minutes.
Well, touching on the John Rosengrant story, the special effects man who did work under Stan Winston, I can only assume this film is dedicated to Stan Winston because he died during the filming or prep for this movie. It was the last film we provided visual effects for, basically. I think when that actually means special effects. Stan Winston, of course, created many of the famous movie monsters of our childhood. He did the aliens in Alien, even though Carlo Rambaldi, the Italian special effects man, did Alien in Alien, and he did E.T. for Spielberg. He's very good at like mechanical effects and taking an image and turning it into like a functional mechanical piece of artwork, basically, that would hold up on film, and still does to this day. Stan Winston, of course, did Gargoyles, which no one has actually seen. He did the first Terminator, creating the mechanical effects. Although we should give James Cameron credit, because he actually designed, as we know, the Alien Queen. He designed the Terminator, all mechanically. He designed the HKs. He worked heavily on the dragonflies and things for Avatar, and the amp suits, all the stuff. Basically, I think because he's like a very brilliant mechanical drawing person. Was it industrial design person? Yeah. Winston kind of translated those effects and created the Terminator. Like I say, he did the aliens, he did all the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. He did so much stuff, Ellie. A great loss to the world of cinema. But obviously, he died during the making of Terminator 2. Sorry, that's a lie. He died during Terminator Salvation, and John Rosengrant took over. Thoughts?
If she's had chemo, why has she still got eyebrows?
They're probably just glued on.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you lose? You do lose your eyebrows, don't you?
Yeah, your eyebrows, your eyelashes. Chemo, dude. All your hair falls out. It's the hair follicle.
Who does your hair? Chemo? That's what you say to a bald man.
There is a mate of mine met someone when she was travelling. He was an African dude, and he was actually called Chemo.
Hello, I am Chemo.
Hello, my name is Chemo.
But I have hair.
And last night I
put
a baby
in you.
inside.
Yeah, as I said, I think I touched on this actually last night, Ellie, that this was actually intended to be the first new Terminator trilogy, a future war trilogy, all done by McG. But the film's poor performance at the box office and its critical reception led to McG being fired, oh my god, and replaced for the next two films if they ever came to fruition. Instead, a new trilogy was planned with 2015. Was that 2015 or was it?
That was last year.
Wow.
Shit,
Oh,
bet.
okay. I keep thinking it's 2017. I'm going mad. Yeah, it was meant to start a new trilogy with Terminator Genisys, which of course we now know has been cancelled and taken off the slate of films for 2017 and 18 from Paramount and Skydance. So although Arnie keeps saying it's back on, I don't think it is. I think we're done.
Oh, he's just trying to keep the hype going, isn't
And
he?
another thing, by the way.
There's no need to point, Ethan.
Why? I'm making a point.
Tungsten tip screws.
What's the chick that plays the new Sarah Connor? Amelia Clark.
Amelia Clark.
Who bizarrely used to work for the same catering company.
Yeah, that's nuts. I find it even funnier that you worked an event a little while ago and you were chatting away to her and they were like, oh my god, that's Amelia Clark, and you didn't even know.
She looks so different.
In a good way or a bad way?
In a good way. She's just like this cutesy fat girl who had a bit of too much weight on her.
This girl's with big arms. Big arms and guts.
She's pretty though, but...
She's alright. Nothing to write home about.
Exactly. Why she made it and I didn't, I have no idea, because I'm just Mr. Person.
I think, actually, yeah, no, I'm not going to say that.
Anyway, well, the next bombshell is going to drop. Amelia Clark has exited now the Terminator franchise, saying she doesn't want to play Sarah Connor again if that next film comes up. So again, the curse of the Terminator, as we said in last night's episode, that
Do you reckon that's because she thought it was rubbish?
each film has its own, each film has a, how do you say it, a different production company making it, essentially. After Terminator 2, that was a different production company. It was the same team of people, the same special effects. James Cameron, the glue that held it all together, writing director.
Never gets old. God, I'm really tight from the gym, man.
Again, Amelia Clark has left Sarah. So the next actress, if they do make a second Terminator film in this trilogy, will be a different actress. Why they didn't get her to sign on for 3 films? I thought you'd sign on for a trilogy.
Can I be Sarah Connor? Just go along to the audition.
You're as big as Amelia Clark.
I could so do it.
In terms of height, anyway. But yeah.
I've got some muscle.
Why would you not want to do it?
Maybe she's focusing on Game of Thrones. I don't know. Maybe she prefers wielding dragons.
When
as
you
opposed
sign on
to
to a Star Wars
Berettas.
or a big Marvel movie, you sign, or a James Bond, you sign on.
But has she signed a contract though, saying that she will do the next? No, but
no, that's what I'm saying. Why wouldn't you do that? Because they do. James Bond, Daniel Craig had to sign on for 4, even though he's got the option now to exit after to Spectre. He should do a 4th one, I think.
I think you should.
Even though you've not seen them.
I've seen the first 2 that he did. I just don't want Elba Idris to be a James Bond.
Elba Idris.
Is that not his name? Idris Elba? If I got it the wrong way around.
I don't think he should be James Bond either.
I don't think he should.
Uh,
He was great in Thor.
and the reason him
I quite
being
liked him in Luther as well.
him being black is not my first reason to think he's not right for James Bond.
He's just not right for James Bond. Full
Well,
stop.
one, he's not right for James Bond. Two, sorry, listeners who think every character should be black now. They shouldn't make James Bond black. The very point of James Bond, he's an English gentleman. There will come a time when that is no longer in vogue or works with an international audience. At that point, put James Bond to bed. Because, by the way, it was written by Ian Fleming. It was a racist,
I think they should have put James Bond to bed a
bigoted,
long time ago anyway.
sexist, anti-gay, anti-lesbian psychopath in the first
There
place.
was that one time you said you thought it was okay to smack a woman, and I haven't changed my opinion.
opinion either. Well, sometimes you give women the last word, and that's not enough. And women are very good at this, and they like pushing your buttons. Then I think, yes, it's absolutely necessary and right to hit a woman.
He's amazing.
What have you? Good old Sean. No, Idris Elba's like mid-40s now. So if you did do a Bond film, if Daniel Craig does one more Bond film, you've got, another 3-4 years, maybe 5 years until you do your first Bond. I know Black doesn't crack, but Idris will be nearly 50. And if you're going to try and build a franchise for at least 10 years from that, you're going to have a nearly 60-year-old James Bond. The last time they tried that was Roger Moore. He just about didn't pull it off.
God.
He did his last Bond film, View to a Kill, at 57.
Dun, 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 dun.
Having said that, he's my favourite James Bond.
I know you're such a.
He's not the
fag.
best James Bond, but he's my favourite.
Oh God, why?
Because he's just awesome. He's like...
He's really slimy.
Yeah, that's the whole point. He's a dirty English gentleman. Me?
No, but that's not what bloody James Bond's meant to
The
be.
6th Earl of Wimbledon. And the
James
6th
Bond's
form
meant to be
schoolgirls
like this
dormitory
kind of
at 3 a.m.
a bit of a cad. He's a bit of a not slimy, not like he'd probably finger me in my sleep. Wake me up first, at least.
I think everyone
I've
loves Sean
always
Connery,
called him the Pink
but
James
the Sean
Bond.
Connery films actually aren't that good.
But it's the classic. I think James Bond. I think Sean Connery. I think Sean Connery was
You
the
almost have
best.
to take Sean
Then Daniel
Connery.
Craig, and then you're gonna hate me for this. Timothy Dalton. But I just really like
With
Timothy
his
Dalton.
thinning hair.
Shut up. You've got a receding hairline.
Yeah,
you
but
want to be in movies.
At least it's stopped. Timothy
now.
Dalton never actually went bald. He just has this like ring of hair, thick hair, and then this is like,
Ring of
and this
fire.
like
Oh, and because Roger Moore's hair is so full of body and oomph.
not now he's 90, but then he had like this.
No,
thick,
it was like this kind of like.
he looks like a Corinthian
Bouffon.
leather couch with hair, permanently tanned.
You're not reciting Shakespeare, Ethan. Not now.
Alas, poor Yorick.
Dry
I know
your
him,
tears,
Roger.
Sophie.
So anyway, yeah, Terminator Genisys is massively in trouble. Arnold keeps saying it's on. But you're gonna have, if you do it
Oh my
again, you're
God,
gonna have
it's on.
Amelia Clarke isn't gonna play Sarah Connor anymore, therefore fucking up the continuity of yet another trilogy. I think they should just leave it alone.
I do.
And until some equally
Stop the
charismatic
Terminator.
bodybuilder type person comes
There's enough
along.
films coming out now about robots and AI and
It's kind of done, isn't it, Terminator?
yeah. I mean, when I think of Terminator, it's Terminator 1, Terminator 2. It's almost like these films don't exist.
At least with this film, though, they try to do something different.
But then don't make it Terminator. Do something different. It's like The Hitcher says,
I think it would have done... Don't watch the remake.
taking things from the past, mixing it with the future, combined together, they make something that's not quite as good as either.
I thought you meant the Hitcher as in Rutger Hauer, or if we're going to go really deep, the remake of Sean Bean Hitcher.
God.
Not the Mighty Boosh's Hitcher, with
Yeah,
the
I
polo
mean-
mint over his eye.
My solo polo peeper.
With
With the massive thumb.
No, at least, I think this would have done a lot better box office terms if they'd stuck with James Cameron's designs and kept that like dark future with like the laser beams and the kind of like the chrome like pyramid of Skynet and stuff,
Yeah, but they didn't.
which
They
looks
just-
remarkably like the Tyrell building from Terminator, which is a pyramid with its spire missing.
Also makes me think of is it? No, it's not Prometheus. Is it Predators? And there's that weird fucking pyramid thing.
You have to do it down the.
I'm so out of practice. This whole mic thing. God, they still smell like Chanel Blue.
Oh really?
Mm.
Thank you. What else have you got to
so
say?
good.
What notes did you make, Ellie?
Well, I haven't
you
made
had
any
thoughts?
notes. This was sprung upon me. Yeah, my thought was is if she's had chemo, which she quite clearly has because she's got no hair, she wouldn't have eyebrows or eyelashes.
Maybe it's like early stages.
If you have chemo and your hair falls out of your head, it falls out of your face. They don't like fall out
You
in
mean I'd have a
stages. It
completely
doesn't have
smooth
like
mole?
a. You would have a completely smooth mole.
Get me to the chemo clinic.
Ethan, you shouldn't joke about things like that.
Why?
Because
I'd never get that kind of thing anyway.
if there was wood in here, I'd touch it. You never know,
That's
dude.
shitboard.
You never know. That could be a cancerous mole for all you know.
It's not.
It's not.
I
I'm a doctor.
I don't know. I think there's not really any kind of cancer in my family. It doesn't really run in the family.
Cancer doesn't run in the family. Actually, it depends.
Weirdly,
Things like bowel cancer can run in the family, but there's lots of cancers
I've never been exposed. Even though I'm going to just ruin my argument what I'm about to say, I've never really been exposed to anything like that unhealthy lifestyle. Now, as I've just said that, I've realised I cane Haribos like you wouldn't believe, and apparently
I'm not even worried about the Haribos.
feeding sugar to cancer
It's all
is
the
not
stuff
good.
that you do at after parties.
Have sex with beautiful women.
Yeah,
You can't catch cancer from models.
of course you can't. Bear with me, I'm just going to eat a piece of toast.
So I was going to say, what are your thoughts on? What are your mental notes that you made, Ellie? As we struggle to find something in this
We're
movie.
25 minutes in, motherfucker.
I
We're
know.
doing well.
Well,
You need to have faith in this
half
show.
of that's your goddamn police story.
Which you asked about.
I know.
I'm really sorry, I am eating toast.
I don't know. I like aspects of the film. I mean, McG wanting to achieve the look of this film, he based it off the film The Road, which is a post-apocalyptic thriller with Viggo Mortensen, which I guess is what would really happen. If anyone's seen The Road, or if you've not seen it, see it. It's the most depressing film ever.
Mm-hmm.
Have you
No,
seen
it's
it?
not. It's not the
Have you
most
seen
depressing
it?
film ever. Yeah, I've seen that.
Because I think everyone's fat post-apocalyptic fantasy is like Mad Max.
Mad Max, and it's all cool, and it's
And
all
everyone
like
builds
babes in
cars,
fur,
and it wouldn't be
it's
at all, would it?
badass.
There'd be no infrastructure to support any of that. You'd have that maybe for a couple of years until the fuel ran out, and then you'd be fucked. And then it would be you in a ripped Parker smelling a wee, pushing a trolley with all your worldly possessions in. And then people would just come along and just rape your 5-year-old
I imagine
son.
that people would be like all disformed and disfigured, like after the bomb testings in the desert.
I know. I think that would happen to subsequent
Yeah.
generations.
Yeah.
Which begs the question, no one ever mentions Fukushima, and that was a nuclear reactor that went up, exploded into the air. The building...
Yeah, but it was a government-funded thing.
The building that the meltdown happened on, they kept all their waste on the roof of, all the spent uranium rods, which shot up into the air. The rest of it poured into the ocean, into the Gulf Stream. So it's fucked the planet, basically, even my top lip.
You don't have a top lip.
Thanks.
Oh, you've got a rabbit mouth. You know this.
So philosophy.
Philosophy. Why would the guards not kick up a fuss about the fact that he smooches this woman? And why?
He's gonna die, man. Cut a brother some slack.
Why? He's on death row. Do you think they give a fuck?
What are you gonna do to him?
I don't know. Give him a slap round the chops. Why did he want a kiss from her?
I imagine it's what I'd do after being put to death. You just reach
No,
over.
you wouldn't. You go. Can I just stick it in you quick? You wouldn't kiss. You don't kiss. Not really.
If you were on death row, you'd lean in and just like.
Can I squeeze your tit? Can I tit you up?
Like Mad Martigan when he snogs that chick and then he chops the tent so it all falls down. And as the tent's falling, he goes, right, and gives her a kiss.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that.
Grab a kiss.
Yeah, but then say that's what death tastes like. It's a bit
Well,
harsh. Plus, I don't know if I'd want to kiss old cancer.
well, he's going to die. He knows she's going to probably die. So he's just like, so that's what death
So
tastes
just
like.
have a quick.
It's a bit douchey, to be fair.
Have a quick 2-pump chump.
But is it douchey because he's going to die anyway?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I'd make it worth my while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's got guards watching.
So?
They probably
At least get a waps out. Get your milky puddings out, babe.
There's a cock up.
Yeah, cock up.
Dr. Serena Kogan, the character played by Helena Bonham Carter.
Quarter.
Hey, quarter.
Hey,
Over here.
quarter. All right, Bill Burr.
Dr. Serena Kogan.
Read it like Bill Burr.
Me undies. Dr. Serena Kogan is seen without a head of hair as a result of cancer treatment.
I didn't realise that Bill Burr was on Happy Days.
I know. Yeah, Dr. Serena Kogan is seen without a head of hair as a result of cancer treatment, but she still has, Ellie, her eyebrows.
Yes!
Which would also have been lost.
Yes!
However...
And the truth shall set you free!
However, since cancer patients react differently, she may have kept some hair, including her eyebrows. The hair on your head falls out quickly. Facial hair does not always fall out.
That's bullshit.
Which is what I kind of said.
That's bullshit.
So it's kind of a cock-up, but not. Cock-up or not?
I was going to say bullshit or not. And that's pretty much everything I've got on this episode.
Well, it's an intriguing and interesting style. I would also like to point out, we missed in the credits...
It's quite misleading, because it almost looks like it could be a good movie.
It's not a bad movie.
It is a bad movie.
It's not a bad movie.
It's a bad movie.
It's got some lags in it in the middle, and a few sequences that don't work. And I think the aesthetic of the film, where they went to copy the road, they should have gone more for the future Terminator look. I think the bit that also doesn't work, and they did a very bold choice in doing, we're going to do this all in daytime.
A very bold choice.
Bold, yes.
That's how Ethan spells blade, by the way. Bloody?
Bloody. Fucking dyslexia. No, it was a bold choice to do it in daytime. There's not really any night scenes apart from the concentration camp scene and the bit where they infiltrate the factory, but you only see that from the outside. The factory's all done indoors at the end. It's all done in like stark daylight. I'm assuming that was just to like go,
Tony
yeah,
Stark.
man. No.
Oh.
What was Stanley's line? Tony Strick.
I don't know.
I
just remember seeing his smiley little face and being like, oh, there he is.
They need to kind of work him into different roles, I think. Because
totally.
no one would be a 95-year-old UPS man.
Oh, God, I'm back on South Park. You should have left our wives alone.
Excelsior! Thanks, Dan.
Actually, that was great because it combined South Park with Bane. You should watch that. Just watch South Park.
From what season? The ones that count.
I'd say from season 8 onwards.
And how many episodes in each season?
It's usually about 8 to 10.
Okay. Well, that's all right.
And they're now doing season 16.
Okay.
So you'll like the later ones because it's really topical.
Not if it's from 8 years ago.
No, but they were doing things. Yeah. Anyway, have you got anything more to add, Ethan?
No. Let's get you back on the train.
Oh, one more thing.
And if you ever come down again, maybe John Nichols can give you a driving lesson.
Yeah, John. I can drive. I just can't park.
I don't believe any of that, John.
Teach me how to. You don't believe any of what?
That you can actually drive.
Oh, okay.
You need little fruit boxes glued to your feet like short round in Indiana Jones.
Oh, so you think the reason I can't drive is because I'm too short to reach the pedals?
Yes, you need one of those those.
A booster.
You need one of those adjusted cars that they put disabled people in, the ones that are just like a
They're
torso.
not disabled. Oh.
And twiggly little legs.
Oh my god.
And all the controls are by hand.
With thumbs for arms.
Exactly.
Oh god.
Thank you all for listening, everyone. As we get deeper into this film, after the intriguing first 2 minutes, we are going to start ripping into it.
I know. I can't wait.
But I'm going to try and temper my hatred, because I think we did okay with Terminator 3. We covered that quite well, I think. Weirdly.
We did, actually. We got loads
I think the one we really dropped the ball on
was 2.
Because it became more about us and not the film. But
well, there was loads going on in both, mainly your personal life.
Yeah.
So you did like to offload. But they loved it. If anything, it made
a lovely time
it
capsule.
made us more human. We're not just robots coming out of a radio. We put a human spin on it.
We did. And we're going to put a human spin on it on the next episode of the TS2...
No, 2TTS. 2T, 2 Minute Terminator.
2TTS.
Yeah.
Right,
almost sound like tits.
Right. We'll be back with episode 3. Thank you for listening, everyone. Please tell your friends. Please invite them to the Facebook
Ellie
page.
Fitzgerald.
I've been Ethan McKinley.
Hasta la vista.
Baby.
You want me to go fucking trash your lights? Do you want me to fucking trash them? Fuck! And what the fuck is it with you?
I was looking at the light.
Fuck! And what the fuck is it with you?
I was looking at the light.
Fuck! And what the fuck is it with you?
I was looking at the light.
Fuck! And what the fuck is it with you?
I was looking at the light.
It's fucking distracting. Oh, good. It's fucking distracting. Oh, good. It's fucking distracting. Oh, kick your fucking ass. What don't you fucking understand? I'm gonna fucking kick your fucking ass. What don't you fucking understand? I'm gonna fucking kick your fucking ass. What don't you fucking understand? I'm gonna fucking kick your fucking ass. Think for 1 fucking second. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Think for 1 fucking second. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Think for 1 fucking second. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Think for 1 fucking second. What don't you fucking understand? I'm gonna fucking kick your fucking ass. What don't you fucking understand? I'm gonna fucking kick your fucking ass. What don't you fucking understand? I'm gonna fucking kick your fucking ass. What don't you fucking understand? Give me a fucking answer.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up if you can't take a joke.
You are trashing my scene.
Shut the fuck up, would you? Shut the fuck up. Shut up if you can't take a joke.
And I ain't walking on this set if you're still hired.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up if you can't take a joke.
I'm fucking serious.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up if you can't take a joke.
You are trashing my scene. What don't you fucking understand? 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 Fucking kick your fucking ass. What don't you fucking understand? Fucking kick your fucking ass. What don't you fucking understand? Fucking kick your fucking ass. What don't you fucking understand? Fucking kick your fucking ass. Seriously, man, you and me, we're fucking done professionally. Fucking ass.